The connection between horror and comedy is a bridge that has existed even before sound films, like with D.W. Griffith's One Exciting Night in 1922. Since then, cinema has always tried to keep both genres loosely intertwined, and no other director has done that better than relative newcomer Jordan Peele. Peele shared his power in horror in 2017 with the movie Get Out. The film tackled topics such as racism, classism, and politics in Middle America, something akin to George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead. His second film, however, dived more into supernatural horror, yet still keeping some realistic roots. In 2019, Peele released the movie Us to audiences around the world. Peele has always loved to throw in nods to different horror media in his films. For example, the concept of Us, while not confirmed, could be based off of 2 episodes from The Twilight Zone titled Mirror Image and Spur of the Moment. Peele went on to create a rebooted version of The Twilight Zone, solidifying his love and inspiration for the TV show. Peele combines social problems with horror to show what type of injustices are being done right in front of our faces. In Us, we see the above-ground people fighting off their doppelgangers that lived in the tunnels below America, also known as the Tethered. The Tethered grew up on the same world as the above-ground people, but with everything somewhat flipped. Instead of eating delicious food court meals, they are only to eat raw rabbit. Ballet isn't a beautiful dance, it's something monstrous. This can be interpreted as how the privileged live versus how the underprivileged lived, how rich consumerist Americans live differently to the poor deprived tethered. And like how his previous film Get Out talked about race, this could also be a metaphor for how rich whites live opposite to the underprivileged people of color. While Peele is a master at horror, it is undeniable to forget that his upbringing into Hollywood came in the form of comedy. Being a very situational comedian, Peele uses this to his advantage all over the entire film. In this scene in particular, Zora brags about how many kills she has versus the rest of her family, saying,
"No, I have the highest kill count in the family."
You don't have the highest kill count.
I killed both twins.
Wrong. I just killed the second one.
I killed Kitty.
So that's 1, 1, 1, and 2. I killed 2. I killed myself and Josh, so...
The scene isn't just to be a small bit of comedy to the film, it's also there to show the desensitization of our society with killing and gore. Zora and Jason, ages 13 and 10 respectively, seem to not show any care for the people they have just killed. They aren't shocked, scared, stunned, or shaking. In fact, they seem somewhat ready and prepared to keep killing the Tethered. In this scene, Elizabeth Moss's character, Kitty, tries to call the police on the Tethered, but is met with the song Fuck the Police by NWA. This is another scene that is not only for laughs, but also to show how the police are untrustworthy and unreliable, connecting to a scene prior where police are not in a hurry to help our protagonist. These scenes play back into the reoccurring class and race narrative of the film. Jordan Peele uses surrealism and absurdism to show that horror and comedy come from the same place and could be used to push a narrative extremely important for our society. The idea that replicas of ourselves could come from underground and terrorize us is not only outlandish, but also horrifying. Peele wrote Us so that the audience can understand and sympathize with the antagonist. They were forced into the tunnels and forgot about, so this is their revenge. The Tethered forming hands across America is the only thing they have. How could we take this away from them? Using Hands Across America as inspiration for the untethering is absurd. It can be seen as both comedic and disturbing. In the end, Peele uses comedy and horror to not only show how people can be their own worst enemy, but also how social injustices are so ingrained within our world. We see how children and teenagers are desensitized to violence and how our lawful protectors are faithless. Finally, we see how absurdism plays into the roots of the film Us, but how also absurdism plays into the roots of comedy and horror.